Hello and welcome, Desert Mountain members, to another edition of the Desert Mountain Podcast. My name is Michael Craven, and I am honored to welcome back to the studio Kim Atkinson. Hello, Kim.
Hello, Michael.
Oh, I've been waiting a couple of weeks to hear you say that.
Just back from the beach, actually.
Really?
Little vacation time with the family.
Oh my gosh. Well, for those of us stuck in Arizona, I'm sure we're all a little jealous.
Well, I mean, this is not a bad place to be stuck, you know?
That is true.
It's always a pleasure to come home to Scottsdale, Arizona.
I 100% agree.
Yes.
And we have a special guest today and a special topic today. We're talking about outdoor adventures.
Yes, sir.
And there are still outdoor adventures going on here in Arizona, you know.
Even during a heat advisory.
Yeah. Well, Desert Mountain, not as hot as everybody else is.
Not as hot.
In the valley.
Not as hot.
But we would like to take this opportunity to welcome to the studio Jake Metz, our outdoors adventure. Did I say that right? Outdoor adventures coordinator.
You got it. Thank you. Hello, people of Podland.
welcome, Jake. Jake, how long? Let's just get your background first, yes. I think, because you have been here a little while now, but not too long. I'm sure people who visit the Sonoran and have gone on outdoor adventures, you have a familiar face, but how long have you been here?
I think by Desert Mountain standards, I'm still in the infancy of my career here.
True.
I joined the team back in October, so coming up on 8-9 months, somewhere in that math.
So a very, very full fall, winter season.
I came in right at the beginning, at the start of it, and got thrown right in, and it's been a lot of fun. And now I get to see a different side during the summer.
It's the best way to do it. It's the only way
absolutely.
to do it.
It is the only way.
Yeah.
Just
hit the ground running.
I agree. Where did you come from? And I hope you touch on this because for any sports fans that are watching, I do know that you had a very cool job in Major League Baseball, but beyond that, where are you from? How did you get to where you are now, and how did you get to Desert Mountain?
Yeah, super. Thanks for asking. My career's been pretty much entirely in hotels, restaurants, and food and beverage operations. Coming out of school, I worked for the Ritz-Carlton Hotel Company for many years around the country. From there, traveled around a bit, stayed here in Scottsdale once and opened a hotel. But to answer your question, working for the New York Mets in New York City for a few years, I always make the joke that they spelled Metz wrong on the building, and it should be spelled the way I spell my last name, M-E-T-Z. But no actual relationship to the owners of that team. I came back to Scottsdale in 2020, and I was working for a hotel company all the way through the pandemic, and decided to step away from that for a little bit and take a summer off. And one of my friends who also works here, he said, "You got to check out this place called Desert Mountain. It's the place to be." And during that summer that I took off, I was doing a little bit of guiding and working in the outdoors just for something fun to do, and saw that Desert Mountain had a position available. And I said, let me take a look at that, and haven't looked back since.
It's kind of like the best of all worlds. Like you're bringing your hospitality background from the Ritz-Carlton into the outdoors, which is your passion. I mean, you get all of what you love into one position.
My job doesn't suck.
So good.
Yeah, I was going to say, you must, all the time that you spent working in hospitality and hotels, I mean, you must have been just taking off on weekends and going on outdoor trips. I mean, you've always been an outdoor guy, right?
My passion has always been to recreate outdoors. Traveling is something as a family that we've always done and gravitated towards. And even in my adult life, that's where I spent all my time, is outdoors, getting out, doing something fun. Now being able to combine that passion of what I do at home in my everyday life with my work, there's nothing better.
And you have such a great team, too. So many wonderful people to work with over at the Sonoran with Teresa and Arnaldo, and all the big visions and plans that are in place for the upcoming season. So lots to look forward to.
I say I have the easiest job because I have the best team around me. And that goes for, in my opinion, all of Desert Mountain and everybody that works here.
That is wonderful. Well, so you come to Arizona, and I'm speaking now as a prospective member or current member, moves to Scottsdale, moves into Desert Mountain. You expect that there is an outdoor opportunity. You come here for the reason of being outdoors. What would maybe a new member not expect to see in the outdoor adventures that come to Desert Mountain? They join the club and they're able to enjoy the golf and the fitness and all these opportunities, and then we find out there's this entire department dedicated to outdoor adventures.
I think the first thing that's going to jump out at you is the fact that we have an incredible world-class trail system here at Desert Mountain Club. It takes up about 3,000 acres, and it's entirely private. So you don't need to hike with anybody else besides other Desert Mountain members. The other thing that I love about living here in Arizona is we have a surprising amount of water all around. We have a lake very nearby, rivers, streams. So there's a lot of ways to get outside and enjoy.
That is so true. Did a little water excursion not too long ago. I've seen some video.
We were able to drag some of the marketing team out on the river, put them on a raft and put them to work paddling, and we had a great time.
You know, and I think I asked Teresa about that because I do know about this trip. I did not attend, and I asked her about this, you know, the whitewater rafting trip, and she gave me a bit of a giggle. Kim, it was more of a float. It wasn't exactly, you know, the whitewater rafting, but still a great adventure out on the water nonetheless.
Well, Margaret came with us, and she was definitely a motor with her paddle.
That's so awesome.
We wanted to have someone wear like a GoPro, you know, to really document going down the river and seeing all the sights. And from what I heard, we saw a lot of cool stuff coming down the river. And I said, who's going to do it? And she was very much willing to help out.
She raised her hand.
Yes, she
pretty
did.
Quickly. So got the mountain minutes done in advance, and she could take advantage of that. So just one really great surprise. You're right. Having water in the middle of the desert isn't something people necessarily realize. And so I think that's one of the things that surprises me too, is that we have such beautiful amenities here and great opportunities, but now kind of transforming the outdoor adventures into where we can take you, because we are kind of central to a lot of different places to go visit and see. And, you know, when it is a hair above 100 degrees, the occasional days that it gets in the hotter days, we plan those outdoor excursions that are maybe up a bit north.
That's a big part of what our department does, is make sure that we expose members to things that are outside of the gates of Desert Mountain, and we're the ones that organize the trips and take you to unique places. Kind of the first thing that I always look at when we talk about what are we going to do, or where are we going to go, or what are we going to program, is let's make sure that it's a couple of things. Number one, photo candy everywhere that we go. Really, we want to make sure that members go and come back with great experiences, great pictures. But the other thing is we always want to connect some sort of educational or intellectual component with what we do. And that's a big difference between us saying, oh, go ahead and check out this location, versus our team organizing a trip and guiding members to wherever we may be going.
That is awesome. So you're getting much more than just a day out floating down the river.
Exactly. You know, I think the diversity that we have in our landscape, our geology, our wildlife here, there's so many incredible stories to tell. And one of my favorite parts of the job is being able to connect the dots of all those different little stories. Just yesterday, we were out on Bartlett Lake, and we were talking about the Native Americans that lived in this area and the plant life. And one of the members said, "You're making me really want to go to a museum." And I just thought about how happy my mom would be to hear that, that I inspired somebody to go to a museum.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love that.
So we do a lot of excursions around the valley, and then going up north on a maybe hotter day where it's not so hot. What's coming up in the coming weeks and months ahead there?
Yeah, well, we have so much outside of the immediate area of Desert Mountain and Phoenix and Scottsdale. And one of the places that I love to take friends when they come is Sedona. Sedona has a rich history and culture and the beautiful red rocks and the geology that's there. We're really excited because in September, we have a trip planned to take members up to Sedona for the day. We'll go visit the Chapel of the Holy Cross. We'll do a little bit of light hiking, spend some time by Oak Creek, and eat some of the great food and look at the art in Sedona as well.
They're picking out the food, too. They're
100.
looking at, like, where are we going to stop to eat, which is a huge priority for me. I know our members will really appreciate that, too.
I got to head up there, I think it was a year ago. Man, is it fun. Like if I don't know if there are still spots available, but if there are, members get in there because it's a really great trip.
That is a lot of fun. So when it is too hot to maybe hike up a trail in the middle of the afternoon, we would not recommend doing that on a day like today. But there's plenty to do on the indoors. So what can you help us explore on the inside at Desert Mountain?
Yeah, even some of us need to get some air conditioning once in a while. And that, I think, has been a fun challenge for myself, is coming up with things that we can do during these hotter months. And A good example of that is we've partnered with the Scottsdale Gun Club, which is about 25 minutes away from us. It's an indoor air-conditioned shooting range. They've arranged for us to have private lessons with instructors, gun rentals, and I think it's going to be a really good time, and it's a beautiful facility.
That's a neat idea.
So many of these things just go so far above and beyond, and you mentioned your experience in the hospitality industry. These are like a beyond resort amenities. If you were going to go on a summer vacation, we're offering options right here at Desert Mountain that kind of, are similar to something that you would find in a resort. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And having the resource of an incredible city like Scottsdale and Phoenix and the rest of Arizona around us allows us to bring those amenities into the member experience.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you mentioned the member experience. I mean, is there how much do the members play into coming up with those types of events and activities that are going on? How does that selection process work?
I think one of the most fun parts about this job is almost every day, if not multiple times a day, somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, Jake, did you think about trying this or doing this? Or I went on this awesome hike the other day." So we have a giant ideas bucket. Most of the ideas that come to fruition aren't even my own. And these are just ideas that other members or other teammates come to us and say, "You should check this out." And we pursue it. And
is it an actual bucket?
It's an actual bucket. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Huh.
We'll tip it over once in a while and then see what falls out.
That's awesome. Well, so you're getting the feedback, you're meeting together with your teams, you're coming up with these calendar of events. You're in that process right now for the winter season.
We are, absolutely. And again, it's going back into that, Kim's idea bucket here and making sure that the things that come up several times when members keep mentioning something, that we pursue that. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that the events that we're offering and the trips that we're guiding are ones that members are truly interested in. And I think when we hear something more than once, it's a giant green light to go and pursue that and make sure that we program something that's going to be a really incredible experience.
You know what I saw on the calendar in the winter season last year that you put together had the horseback rides to the Ravens Peak.
Ravens View.
Ravens View.
Yeah.
Yes,
the wine
Ravens
bar.
View.
That was cool.
Very
that
cool.
was a recurring, showed up every Friday afternoon, and I saw a lot of people really excited about that.
And that's a great example. And I encourage anybody, teammates or members, if there's something that they want to see or do, the sky's really the limit. And that, like you said, Kim, a perfect example where members said, "Hey, it'd be cool if we rode a horse to this wine bar." And we kind of got together as a team and said, that would be cool.
Yeah.
What a blast.
And it's actually works out perfectly. I was out there for one of them, and the trail just goes right up the side of that hill, right down the other side, and it spits you out right on that road. And it's like, I don't know, what is it, 3 hours or so, 2 or 3 hour ride, and right up to the wine bar.
And most importantly, you finish saddled up at the wine bar.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we really love putting together trips like that.
So the horse stables will, Vicki will come back here in the fall and reopen a new schedule of horseback riding. What are some of the other horse types of events that you think Vicki will be bringing back to the members?
We love Vicki. We can't wait for her to come back. I don't know if she would have left except for the heat.
Yeah.
Because she's so great.
She is.
When we look at the horseback riding or any of the other activities that we do, what's super important is that they're authentic experiences to the Arizona landscape. Anything that Vicki's going to program with her horses, any of the rides, I think it's going to be a true cowboy or cowgirl experience.
True.
Yeah.
The other thing that I love seeing up there is when families get together and they go for a horseback ride or a lesson or any of the other events that happen, because it just seems like such an incredible way to bond with your family or friends when we're all together.
Yeah.
And so booking that right now, I know we don't have anything published yet for the fall, but we'll be putting our winter guide out around the 1st of September. So members will have the opportunity to see what is planned for that kind of October through May timeframe and start booking those excursions with Vicki and her team.
Yeah, booking anything, you have a lot of resources out there. I think right away the best place to go is on the member website and look at the Outdoor Adventures tab. We're very fortunate as a department. We have our own tab on the member website. And if you open up that calendar, it's going to have everything published and listed on there. Outside of that, myself and my amazing teammate Teresa, we're always available to answer questions or help with booking. And of course, we have our incredible concierge team that can help in any way too.
Very true. And so you kind of painted the picture of the families that are out there enjoying the horseback riding. How about the glamping? Talk to me about the glamping.
What's glamping?
Yeah, what is that?
The glamping experience is just unbelievable. And I remember, candidly, when I interviewed here and I spent some time talking with Arnaldo, and here's this gentleman telling me about our own glamping site that's at the club. And I said, no way. And then he took me up to see it. And I said, okay, he's not kidding. It's there. This is a must-have experience here at Desert Mountain. We have 5 tents situated on top of the mountain, attached to the ranch. You come up there, and we're going to host you for an incredible evening of dining, being outside, and getting to sleep in a luxurious tent with running water, your own bathroom, very comfortable beds. It's a genuine great time.
Goodness gracious.
Just to paint the picture, I mean, imagine you show up late afternoon, early evening, little happy hour, drinks, provided, you hang out, whoever you come up there with, whether it's just your, husband, wife, whatever, or your friends or whatnot. Then we're cooking dinner. There's a cooking dinner for you. Mm-hmm. Enjoy the dinner. Then the sun goes down. You're watching the sunset. Now you have a fire, and now you're having a fireside chat with more drinks, and then off to bed, up in the morning, breakfast prepared again. I mean, it's just like the coolest experience from beginning to end. Everything's kind of taken care of for you, but it's still that camping experience.
I think one thing that I have to mention is the food part. We have a woman named Barb Kennedy. She is a authentic cowgirl.
She's a cowgirl cook.
100%.
She is 100% authentic. She cooks in cooking competitions all over the country, travels all over with her Dutch ovens, and she's going to cook you a incredible meal over the campfire, open fire cooking, all scratch. It's unbelievable.
We need to do a story about her.
We do.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to get to see her the final glamping weekend that happened before we shut it off for the summer. We did come up and get a bunch of content, which I believe will be featured in the Friday Jam this week.
Fantastic.
So we will get to see some of that food and see her in action. But yeah, she needs more recognition. She's awesome. She's so cool.
Really cool.
Yeah.
What I love seeing is when our members come, they've booked and they arrive to the glamping site, and we get ready to bring them up to their tents, and everybody's getting out of their car and they've got their flannels on and cowboy boots and cowboy hats, and it's just an awesome time.
You could book out all 5 tents for your whole crew.
That's a great point. And what we see a lot is everybody coming as a family or as a group of friends, and they're reserving the entire site for themselves.
It's like a takeover.
Absolutely. It's like a takeover.
Yeah.
And it's a big party.
That is so fun.
It is.
The other
it's really great.
One more cool thing I'm going to throw in, and I'm going to brag on Jake just a little bit, is we still are out in the open. There's still are critters that come around and things like that. But having someone like Jake there and the team that is there, and there's someone there all night, right?
Yeah, so we have a camp host that spends the night, and then you have a team with you all other times of the day of your stay. And like you said, we're there to make sure that you're comfortable and things are looked after, and if there's any sort of critters or things like that we get to point it out, and if we're lucky enough, we'll all get to take a look.
Bring a shovel.
We ran into a slithery one, and Jake took care of it. I don't even think anyone was really aware, but he, it was alerted to his attention, and he did what had to be done and moved on. But,
It's the hospitality background.
Exactly.
I was told that makes me a true Arizona man now.
You are.
Oh, my God.
You got your stripes.
So just back to kind of being in the outdoors with the summertime, your schedule is quite robust. I mean, our summer programming does not really take a break. We just pick different times of day to do things, and we go early or we go late. And I see we've got the full moon hikes. Are those still rocking and rolling every now and then?
The full moon hikes are an incredible experience. They are offered once a month, full moon. Okay. And we do those year round. We're very excited. We have a deep and great partnership with the Desperados. The Desperados have very kindly offered for myself and Teresa to start leading those full moon hikes, which we're really excited about. And just as an overview, those hikes leave from the ranch trailhead on a published date that goes along with our Outdoor Adventures calendar. And we do about a 3.5 mile hike.
Wow.
We leave just before sunset, climbing to Sunset Point on the trails. We watch the sunset there, and it is a beautiful sunset from that location. The views are just spectacular. And as the full moon starts to rise, we use the full moon light to help guide us back to the trailhead.
Wow.
In total, it's about 2 hours, 2.5 hours out there. And one of the things that I love is that this is a no registration required event. If you show up at the right time, you get to go out with us. And it's really a fun time. We have a big group. There's usually about 15 all the way up to 30 plus members and their friends and family who come and join.
That is awesome.
Did you just have one, or is there one coming up? I was looking up at the sky last night. It looks pretty full, but I'm not sure exactly which day.
No, good question. We did just have one this past weekend.
Okay.
And a little knowledge tidbit for you. Because we're trying to target the time between when the sun sets and the moon comes up, about 2 days before the full moon is when that time difference between the sun setting and the moon coming up is the shortest or the closest together. So we go about 2 days before the full moon actually happens.
Good to know.
Good to know.
We've now mentioned a lot of different events, nighttime events, daytime events, water events, hiking events. What are the members' favorites? I mean, what kind of feedback have you gotten? What do they love the most?
That's a great question. What I've seen, and our members are incredible, I'm impressed every day when I get the chance to interact with them, is our members love to be challenged. I think in two ways. One, physically, our membership here is just so
They're fit.
They
adventurous.
They are so fit.
I got to go to the gym every day just to keep up with them. I mean it.
Yeah.
But with that said, the other way that I see our members loving to be challenged is intellectually. And events where we can incorporate some sort of educational component have just been a hit. I see the feedback also coming from, wow, I didn't expect to learn that, or how cool is that, or I have a deeper appreciation for the desert or the sky or whatever it might be. A big part of what Teresa and myself do is prepare ourselves in advance by trying to get educated. So we spend a lot of time reading. We go to local museums. We talk with archaeologists and anthropologists that are in this area in order so that we can pass along as much as we can retain ourselves. And then on top of that, we do our best to bring in local experts and host speaker events or bring in local experts to come on trips with us as well.
It's so much better than just having a stack of brochures and kind of, sending members on their way, which plenty of opportunity to do those things on their own, but having this sort of guided opportunity is such a great thing to do.
Go ahead.
Oh, I find it to be a privilege to be able to share some of this information. Every time we finish a trip, members find themselves thanking me, but I think in reality, I like to thank the members and say thank you for letting us share this information.
Amazing.
Here's one that's not even necessarily off property, but what was the one? Was it a full moon night where we were out on the tennis court and you had someone come in and he was just had his telescope and
it was like a sold out deal. Crazy.
That was cool, like really cool.
I was blown away by the reaction here. We were able to partner with a gentleman named Benjamin. He is an astronomer. He builds telescopes for NASA. He's an inventor as well, and he owns and built the country's largest portable telescope of its kind.
Whoa.
And he was able to come in, and his system is he hooks it up to a large television. So, of course, we got a big 50-foot inflatable screen.
Yep.
And he gave a presentation on stars and galaxies. And, well, let's just say it was above my head.
Oh, my goodness. Where's the
laugh track?
cue that something. Anything. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Goodness gracious.
There we go.
I'll be here all afternoon.
I hope so. We could do this all day.
I love it.
So good. All right. So let's see. How about something from last year that you know is going to make its way back? I mean, that sounded like a home run type of an event that if we can get him back again, I'm sure the members would love that. But what do you see on the calendar coming up that you really want to promote that was such a huge success from last season?
Well, stay tuned for the calendar coming up, and we'll tease it out a little bit here. But there's a handful of off-property hikes that we did that just sold out every time we did them. And in particular, going down to Superstition Mountains, for example, and then finding a place for lunch and a beer tasting afterwards, that was a big hit. I can't wait to see that again. One of the things that I loved about that trip was our members were saying, we're going where? And doing what? Okay, sign me up.
That's so great. They're just, go ahead, take me. We're in.
Well, and that's a big part of what we do when I say go guided. We let you know what time to show up at the Sonoran Clubhouse, which is where our shuttle will leave from. We give you the heads up of what to bring. We, of course, give an idea of maybe how difficult the trip might be or how easy it will be or accessible. And then from there, we guide you through it. We make sure that everybody comes back better than they left. And that's usually a little more educated and a little more fit because they got a good little workout in.
Yep.
So that's the fun part of the job.
And like we're saying, like some of the trails that you go to, maybe a member could go do on their own or whatever, but there's just added incentives. You don't get the knowledge that you guys are imparting and that you have taken the time to do your research and you know a lot about all these adventures. So it's a huge value add there for if you're going to go out there.
So much fun. And for anybody is spending time outside, even, a few degrees cooler than the valley floor up here at Desert Mountain. But I know some safety tips that we always like to reinforce as far as hydration. I mean, we can't say it enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always great when you get outside, no matter what the temperature is. I think people do it and it's fantastic. I always tell my friends and family, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. There's an old saying that once you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated, and it's really hard to play catch up when you're out there. Outside of that, go early or go late if you can. And lastly, I'd always recommend, or maybe firstly, I'd always recommend go guided as well. Mm-hmm. If you could go out on one of our trips or go on a guided trip, you're going to have a professional that's with you that does have some emergency training and emergency procedures in place if something were to happen.
Yeah.
When would you say the rain is going to start? Are we going to get a rainstorm at any time soon? Do you know?
Today, I thought.
I wish I could cue up the Disney effect and bring in the rainstorm, but I can't.
Well,
but until
right.
Until then, gosh, we got so much to do. Like you said, early in the morning, even throughout the day, indoor, outdoor, on property, off property. What a list.
What do you have before we let you go? Yeah. We're still in the month of July, August. I mean, folks that are, here and spending a few weeks, we want to look forward to some things to do. So what would you recommend we keep an eye out for?
Thanks, Kim, for asking. We make sure to program every month that we have water-related trips during the summertime. Mm-hmm. So every month we're doing a lake trip and a river trip. So this month we just had our lake trip, but we still have our river trip left at the end of the month. And next month we have both of those, and same in September. So please go ahead, go online, take a look at it. I think you're really going to find that you'll enjoy coming out onto either Salt River with us or down to Bartlett Lake and do some paddling, stay cool on the water. Outside of that, we've got the gun range, like I mentioned. That's a great way to get out, be social with the other members, and do something maybe a little different.
Nice.
Yeah, as you mentioned briefly, but the Salt River one, I mean, someone who's saying, I don't want to go rafting down a river. What would you say? I mean, they can do it, right? I mean, it's not
the whitewater picture that I had in my head.
The Colorado River and you're bouncing around. No. It's not too terrible, right?
We've only lost 3 members so far, which is no, I'm kidding. This is a float. It's a gentle float. And I'll be honest, one of the most rewarding parts of this job is taking people slightly outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
And every time that we get the chance to bring somebody outside of their comfort zone, they're always coming back the happiest, beaming, most joyful person at the end of the trip because they did something that they wouldn't normally do.
So, spoiler alert a little bit for the jam. I'm told there's going to be some wildlife.
Yeah.
It's not Jake.
No.
So, be on the lookout, members, for this week's Friday Jam. There's going to be some really great images, whether from the GoPro of Margaret or the flyover drone from Patrick.
It's going to be a cool one.
Got some neat stuff to show.
Yeah, between our glamping and between our rafting, this is going to be one of the cooler ones.
I agree.
Yeah.
Did you pick a song?
Not yet.
Oh, did you?
Well, I think when we were on the river, we were all tossing out different river songs,
Okay.
river-related music. So
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. I can see that.
We'll see what you and Patrick pick.
All right.
Well, Jake, thank you so much. You have so much insight to offer us.
So much insight.
And I can only imagine how that transfers to the membership too when they're out with you. Just a really smart guy who knows what he's talking about. So
We have a lot to look forward to through Jake and the fabulous Teresa.
Well, you guys are very generous with your words, but thank you very much. I can't wait to see our members out there on the trips and on the adventures and doing something a little different. If anybody has any requests or trips that they want to see, please get in touch with us because we love to program and put them together.
And they have a bucket.
and they're going right in the bucket.
They got a bucket. Yeah, so get it on the top of the bucket.
Oh,
That's the
my
key.
goodness.
Okay, very
Thank you
good.
so much, Jake.
It was a pleasure. Thank you both.
Thank you. Kim, we got to do our great shots of the week.
Of course.
Before we go.
Yes.
Let's shoot it back to the studio, hear about the shots, and we'll be right back.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Kim. Members, we had some aces this week, so let's get to the shots around the mountain. David Carroll on Wednesday, July 6th, a hole-in-one on number 3 Apache. Kathleen Strasberg on Friday, July 8th, a hole-in-one on number 5 at number 7. Gene Summer, Friday, July 8th, you guessed it, a hole-in-one on number 11 Geronimo. Sandy Sansing on Saturday, July 9th, can anyone guess? A hole-in-one on number 7 at number 7. And to round it out, Joanne Storbeck on Sunday, July 10th, an eagle to finish her round on number 18 at Apache. Thank you so much, members. We look forward to seeing more of these great shots next week. Maybe some more aces. Looking forward to it. Guys, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much. They keep rolling in, and we will keep reporting them, and just really great. Awesome.
Some winners out there.
Thank you one more time, Jake, for being with us, and thank you for everything that you do.
The pleasure is all mine, guys. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Kim. And members, we will see you out on the trails, out in the lakes, out in the river. See you everywhere and
Have
around
fun outdoors.
and around the mountain.
That's right.
Take care.
Thank you.